I will session meeting for the town of Franklin for June 13th, 2024. Before we begin, small notice. If anybody wants to record anything that we're doing, either at home, online, or here in the chambers, please let us know first. We are capturing this audio and video, especially audio for the minutes. We do ask people to please step up and use the mic such that we can capture the information for the stenographer, who will then take the minutes from that recording. Thank you. So I'd like to open up the hearing for 15 Liberty Way. Do we have anybody here from 15 Liberty Way?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
I'm
sorry,
online.
I'm sorry. Once again, roll call. Sorry.
Mark LePage.
Jeff
Milne.
Roger Trahan.
Nicole Sherman.
Sorry. Online?
Dick Johnson.
Right, Richard? Okay. Thank you. Okay, now we can go. Please, thank you.
All right, folks. So I just wanted to hop on this evening and give you a quick update. Basically, what we've done is we've gone ahead and reduced the scope of this project dramatically in accordance with your feedback that you gave us over the last couple of hearings. The engineers are still working on going through and finalizing all the details and minutia of site plans and stormwater design. So unfortunately, we weren't able to get that submittal to you for this evening, but I'm hopeful we'll have it for you in the next week or so.
Okay.
But basically, we've gone ahead and scaled back the parking surface to about half of what was initially proposed. We are going to be avoiding impacts to wetlands, bordering isolated or otherwise. And the scope of the project now is such that we're going to almost entirely avoid even so much as the 50-foot buffer zone. So it'll really now just be an outer buffer zone project, hopefully rendering all of our discussions about jurisdictional statuses moot. So just wanted to give you that quick update, and you can be looking out for those revised materials coming your way shortly.
Okay, great. Any questions?
No, thanks, Chris.
Yeah, thanks a lot. That's great. Great news to hear.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Very good. Do you have anything? No? Yes? Is there anybody in chambers or online that has any questions or comments for the applicant? Okay, there being none, I'll take a motion to continue.
I'll give you a motion to continue the NOI for 15 Liberty Way to June 27th at 7:01.
Second.
Vote to continue.
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 Abstain.
Richard?
Continue.
Continue. Thank you. Move on to...
Thanks, folks. Have a good night.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Chris.
Now move on to Beaver Pond hydro raking. Is there anyone here from Beaver Pond?
I'm not surprised that there would not be, but however, I did reach out to Rec Department and DPW today on the outstanding items that we still need, and I haven't heard back yet, so.
Okay, but as far as we know, that's pretty much on hold, right? Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Any questions? No? No? Any questions from the audience in chambers or online about the Beaver Pond hydro raking project? Okay, there being none, I'll take a motion to continue.
All right, I'll give you a motion to continue the NOI for Beaver Pond hydro raking to June 27th, 7:02.
Second.
Vote to continue.
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 Abstain.
Richard?
Continue.
Continued. Thank you. Okay, so next hearing that we will open is the NOI for Tri-County Regional Vocational Technical High School. Is there anyone here from Tri-County?
The applicant did request a continuance. We
Okay.
did just receive beta peer review letter today.
Okay,
If it behooves the commission, I'd like to hear an update from John.
okay, yes. John?
Good evening. So we wrapped up what would be our second review letter today and issued that to Brico Lai and the applicant earlier. So on the wetland side of things, I'd say, the applicant is pretty much all the way there in terms of compliance with the state act. And I would say they're about 90% there with compliance with the bylaw. There are a couple of more minor administrative items that we've recommended they address, and there was a couple of relatively small details about the isolated vegetative wetland replication area we've recommended they address. But, you know, all in all, they really took a deep dive into our first letter of comments and made some pretty, you know, substantial revisions, and they actually brought on some, you know, a fairly well-respected individual in the industry to help them design a replication area that meets their goals, given that it's a relatively tough site to work on. On the stormwater side, there is, again, because of the site and how tough it is, almost the entire site is either developed or consists of very poorly drained soils in the existing condition. There's still some additional design work that needs to be done on that end to ensure compliance with both the Town of Franklin stormwater bylaw that's overseen by the planning board, as well as Mass DEP stormwater standards. So we anticipate them to, you know, digest this round of comments as well, take that in, and what we may end up doing if requested by the applicant is we've, you know, offered up being able to have another working session similar to what we did last time to kind of go over the comments in more real time to hopefully avoid, you know, any more back and forth via letter than is necessary, just to keep things moving along. But all in all, it's heading in the right direction, and we're hoping that with this next design iteration that the remainder of the comments can be addressed.
Okay, that's great. And typically, we would wait for planning. If planning is going to make changes, right? And that might impact us, and we would wait for them to make their changes.
Right, and I
do
think
that,
they
right?
might have just submit the planning board?
Yeah,
Yeah, oh,
site
yes.
plan only.
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah, site plan review.
okay. Again, trying to minimize the
Yeah,
iterations, right?
yeah.
So-
But yeah, all in all, good. And, you know, we'll coordinate with the applicant through Recoli, but we're happy to work with them directly in another kind of working session, because again, it is a very large scale project and a very difficult site to develop. So happy to help move the process along.
Great, that's fantastic
Sounds
news. Thank
encouraging.
you.
Yeah.
Great. Any questions? Questions?
It's all good.
Richard, any questions? No?
I'm good.
Okay. Are there any questions in chambers or online about this project, about the Tri-County project? Okay, there being none, I'll take a motion.
All right, give you a motion to continue the NOI and Tri-County Vocational Technical High School till June 27th, 7:03.
Second.
Continue that.
Continue?
Continue.
Continue.
Abstain?
Richard?
Continue.
Continue. Thank you very much.
Excellent.
Thank you, John. Now I'd like to open up the next hearing for Prospect Street Access Drive. Do we have anyone here for Prospect Street Access Drive?
Okay.
Brika, do we have anything on this? No?
Nope.
No,
Nothing from DEP either.
Nothing from you, okay. The last time this was before us, just to remind people, we did discuss, and I suggested strongly that we might want to look into closing this without any new information. Seems that we are there, and now, finally, and this has been going on for quite a while. It's been over for quite a while. I am of the inclination to move to close at this point, because we have not received, or doesn't seem to be going anyplace. So, if anyone is so disposed, I would take a motion.
All right, I'll give you a motion to close the NOI on Prospect Street Access Drive.
Second that.
Okay,
Vote to close.
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 Abstain?
Richard?
Close.
Okay, close.
All right.
Okay. Right, and that's, at this point, I think we close the hearing? Or what, do you wanna, should we leave it? I mean,
Quite the conundrum, isn't it?
I know it is a conundrum, yes, it is. It is. Yeah, 'cause
I
what's-
have not yet spoken to our town attorney to navigate through this yet, but
Hmm.
I have spoken to other resources that I have, and I think if the commission wanted to deny due to lack of information, considering that DEP did ask that you open the hearing.
Yes.
So I think at that point, you need to make a decision on the hearing that was opened, or the project that was opened.
Right.
And then this way, with lack of information, he just has to reapply again.
Makes sense.
And then, I mean, if
yeah.
that's a moot point, then it's a moot point.
I agree with Rika and I again am inclined to do so if it meets every, yes. All right, unless anyone has complete objections,
No, I
as we
think we-
discuss it, I think at this point we just denied based upon lack of information.
Yeah, motion to deny the NOI on Prospect Creek Access Drive based on lack of information.
Second that.
Okay,
Vote to deny.
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 Abstain?
Richard?
Deny.
The motion is denied, NOI is denied. Thank you very much,
All
everyone.
right.
Okay. Just making notes. Okay. Right. And the next NOI, we will open the meeting for the NOI for Veterans Memorial Drive. Is there anyone here for Veterans Memorial Drive?
Hi, I'm online. This is Amanda with Garrier and Hellman.
Great.
Hey, Amanda.
Hi, everyone. Just wanted to give you a quick update. We are requesting a continuance to the next hearing. We did just receive comments from Beta's peer review on Monday. So we're in the process of going through those and spoke with Bricolai very quickly today via email. And there are a few more comments, I believe, coming from her end as well. So we're awaiting those comments, and then we'll work on the updates and revisit it at the next hearing.
Briga, do you have anything that you want to share at this point?
No, not at this time.
John, do you want to share anything or no?
Up to you. If you want to, go for it.
Yeah, I think
Just
Okay.
make your money.
So,
Just maybe
this-
a heads up or whatever, yeah.
yeah, it was relatively straightforward, to be honest. The jurisdiction's relatively limited on this property, both in area and scope. It's only bylaw jurisdictional wetlands. So I would say, generally there's only about a dozen stormwater comments to be addressed, just given the limited area. Some recommended revisions to calculations, as well as taking a look at some potential impacts of groundwater on some of the treatment BMPs selected. And on the wetland side, our comments, aside from some administrative bylaw comments, we had a couple of comments on the proposed wetland replication area. We feel that it was actually a very good location for wetland replication, fit between two currently separated isolated wetlands. And we had just asked for some additional details, namely, some provisions to save some existing vegetation out there that would integrate well with the replication area, as well as having the applicant just develop a restoration plan for some clearing a buffer zone that they'll need to do to get equipment to the replication area to build it.
Right.
But generally a relatively straightforward project, and happy to take a look at any revisions that come out of this.
Thank you, thank you.
That's good.
And any questions for John or Bricolai? No? Is there anyone in the audience in chambers or online that has any questions about this project? Okay,
All right, give you a motion to continue the NOI of Veterans Memorial Drive to June 27th at 7:04.
Second.
Continue.
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 Continue?
Richard?
Continue.
Continue. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you,
Great,
John.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amanda.
Thanks. Okay, so the next one up, let's see, we did Prospect, we did, oh, okay, so next one up is the ANRAD for, and this is the ANRAD, not the NOI, correct?
yes, yes.
Yes, just, okay, ANRAD.
Thank you.
The ANRAD for 55 Constitution Boulevard. Is there anyone here for 55 Constitution Boulevard?
No, the applicant requested a continuance.
Okay,
I can provide a small update.
Sure.
I have yet to complete my site visit, but
Okay,
that will
sure.
happen soon.
Sure.
At some point. And then Beta will be out there tomorrow.
okay, this is tomorrow at 9 o'clock, correct?
No,
Oh,
that's
no,
you and
that's-
I
that's right. I'm
separate.
sorry,
Yeah,
that's different.
Beta will be out there
Oh, I
looking
see,
at
see,
it, doing their
yes.
own independent review.
Understood.
Oh, is it at 9? It's also at 9.
Oh, it is also, okay.
We'll all be in the
Okay,
field
We'll all be in the field.
together.
Okay, all right, okay. Any questions, guys? No? Okay. Richard, no questions?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Is there anyone in chambers or online that has any questions about 55 Constitution Boulevard? Okay.
All right, I'll give you a motion to continue the ANRAD, 55 Constitution Boulevard to June 27th at 7:05.
Second.
Vote to continue.
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 Richard?
Continue.
Continue. Thank you, guys. Okay, those are all the hearings that we have for the evening. The next, we go into the general business section. And we have minor buffer zone activities. First is the one for 11 Mount Street.
Thanks, John.
Thank you. Thanks, John. Please.
Good evening. Good evening. Name's Greg Sardi. I'm the homeowner, landowner.
Just
11 Mount
make sure you
Street.
sign in also. Please, thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
All right. Good evening.
Okay, good.
I'm looking to rehabilitate and renovate some wetlands on my property and buffer zone regions that are infested with invasives and severely affected by emerald ash borers.
Okay. Have you spoken to?
Yes, briefly. So we did get the renovation plan yesterday.
Okay.
So I perused through it very quickly. I did ask Greg just to expand a little bit on each section. I think he did a great job noting,
Okay.
demarcating specific sections on his property with proposed work. But I just wanted the plan to speak a little bit to not going in the stream, for example, in section C, and staying in the buffer zone in section C. Because when it's broken up by section, that section has many different resources in it, so we need to navigate through those resources. I did just also get the RDA paperwork right before this meeting, so I would just suggest one more meeting so I can just have time to review this more in depth, make sure it checks out, and then.
Okay, sure. So we'll just continue this then, basically to the next.
Sure. Let's continue.
Okay. And I don't think we have to vote on this because it's not a formal hearing,
Correct.
right? We're
Yeah.
just keep on working, doing what you're doing, and come in next time, and I think we can close this up.
All right. Thank you.
But thank you for
Thanks,
coming in.
Greg.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I'll be in touch.
Okay, good. Okay, the next one up on the list is 36 Jordan Road. Do we have anyone here for Jordan? Thank you. Sign
Yes,
in, yeah,
please.
sign in, please.
Yeah.
And mainly what this is, it's basically for the people taking the minutes, so they know who it is that's speaking, who was represented at the meeting, just so we can verify, basically.
Hi, Drew Manuel, homeowner.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah, so mitigating water damage coming from the elevated land from our neighbors running down into our property and going into our basement. So we're putting in a drainage to run it to the backyard.
Have you talked to them about doing anything? I'm just curious, have you talked to them about doing anything like, I guess, like plants or something, or some sort of something to mitigate, maybe direct the water away from your property elsewhere?
Talking to the neighbor specifically?
Yes,
No.
Is it possible?
No, I think he's he put in something. It seemed like for previous homeowners, it looks like he tried to do something, but it's clearly not working.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right. Yeah, because we had a lot of rain this year,
Yeah.
so it would have been really bad this year.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Okay. Brika, do you have anything about this project?
The only thing that I would suggest or recommend the commission consider, while single-family homes are exempt from stormwater, just seeing if the homeowner would be willing to do any form of treatment at that discharge point.
Oh,
I'm not necessarily talking about a full-scale infiltration basin or subsurface or even to the extent of rain garden. It could just be such as something to slow down that water coming out, creating an additional eroded trench going to the wetlands,
Okay.
and something that could treat any sort of pollutant.
Yeah, so it's typically if we have just a very similar type of situation where people are trying to obviously get water out of their house and direct someplace, and obviously usually it goes into a wetlands because the area is wet, right? What we'll try to do is so you don't have like this big rush of water kind of like going in and taking everything with it. If you had like some sort of plants or something that could sort of like brunt that force, maybe capture some of that sediment before it goes into, right?
Mhm.
So what Bree was saying was just, planting some ferns or sedges or something like that. If that was something that you guys would consider, that would be great.
Okay,
I
and
mean, if that's possible.
where in the system would that go? Like where it ends or where it begins? Like,
Where it ends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where
The
the
discharge
outbound
point.
is.
Yep,
I see.
yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And basically, just, again, you're trying to brunt the impact before it goes into the.
I
thing.
see.
It's almost like and what she's saying is that, some people, if it's like a commercial site, for example, you might be asked to actually excavate and put in like some sort of like, filtration system or something, or even like a plow out, put in a rain garden or something like that. Basically we have some sort of filtration. That's not this, obviously. This is a single family home, obviously. But this would do a similar type of benefit, but on a very smaller scale, just even the plants. So that's the reason for the request.
okay.
And we could give you some recommended planting
Yeah.
that would help
Yeah.
out, so.
Yeah,
Sure.
she's got all sorts of lists of things, right? I mean, so, not big bucks or anything like that,
Okay, yeah.
okay?
Thank you.
So, yep,
Yep, okay.
so, so I think at this point, is that pretty?
So we're gonna, recommend, or we're
Yeah.
gonna put a motion for approval with that condition?
Yeah, just, yeah. Is that
You're
okay?
comfortable with that, right?
Will you just
Uh,
put that, is that okay to put that as a condition?
Yeah, I think so,
Some-
yeah.
right?
Okay,
Okay,
so motion to approve the MBZA on Jordan Road with the recommended special condition that we have some plantings at the outbound end of the water flow
right,
to help control that, sedges or such.
right,
How about that?
yeah,
I
that's
feel
good.
good about myself.
That's good.
Look at you
Second.
drafting conditions.
Okay, yeah,
like that.
yeah, okay, yeah, okay, all right. Second,
Vote to approve.
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 Approve?
Richard?
Approve.
Approved. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for working with us. We
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate it,
Thank
really
you.
do.
Okay. All right. Now, next up is the MBZA for 454 Union Street. Do we have anybody here from 454 Union? And this is this, right?
Are you Caitlin?
Yes.
How you doing tonight?
And this is you, right? This
Yes.
is you, yep, okay. Okay, if you want to just give us a brief overview of what you guys are wanting to do, that'd be great.
Sure. So looking to tear down my existing deck, which is about 14 by 16,
Okay.
and expand it along the back of my house to then be 14 by 26. Yep.
Okay, and this is the current?
Yes, this is the current deck
Right.
that's there.
Got
So I have a certified plot plan here showing both the existing deck is a subset of that gray box behind the house, and looking to expand it again along the length of the back of the house.
Right.
There is a stream in the back of my property, and so this is within the 100 feet, which my entire house is, but it's outside of 50 feet.
I see. Okay,
So looking to tear it down to expand it and change it from the existing wood to be a composite material.
so just a curious question, so this is the stream, right, this is the stream in this
Yes.
picture, yes, great, okay. Does the yard go like all the way down to the stream, or is it just?
Yes, the yard slopes down to the stream and then it's roughly flat at that point.
Okay. All right, okay. So it's pretty much, disturbed all the way down to the stream, yes?
Yeah, and they're
Okay.
just doing helical piles right
Okay.
in place.
Okay, so pretty standard thing, yes. Okay, yeah, it sounds pretty common, yeah. Is there any questions for this?
And the way it's set up, no need to, I mean, you'll be coming around the front or to the side and in the back. No need
Yeah,
to-
there's no change to how I'd get in or out of the house. The existing stairs to get in and out of the
Oh, I
deck.
was thinking construction equipment, right?
Construction equipment will be on the
No need-
driveway at most, or
Okay.
into, you know, the backyard, I'd
That's
assume.
what it seemed
Right.
like, but figured,
Yeah,
safe to ask. Very good.
Yeah, I'm just,
Awesome.
So you're just going the length of the back of the house, you're not going further out?
Correct, just going, if you go back to the picture that has the back of the house.
Yeah, I got that.
There's a window
Yeah.
on that second floor, and it's going just past that window.
Okay.
okay.
window on
okay.
the first
Yeah, I
floor.
see,
That'll be
I
nice,
see,
yeah.
yeah.
And
Okay.
the stairs are gonna be,
It's exactly where they are right now, same exact concrete
Yeah.
pad at the
They're just,
bottom.
they're just bumping it up. So basically gonna cover, it's gonna basically provide shade for the exit door, and then it's basically gonna be, encompass the window, like, go
Yes.
past, it. Yep, of course, yep,
That's cool.
okay.
So there'll be one more cement piling in the ground?
Concrete.
piles, and they're using helical piles.
One more you're gonna add?
Well, there's three, those concrete piers.
Yeah,
The new ones are gonna be helical piles, so there'll be four, there'll be one more.
okay.
And we'll replace the 3 that are there,
Right,
because I think they were
Makes
too
sense.
small and.
yeah, yeah. Load and all that, yeah.
Thank
yeah,
you.
Makes sense. Okay.
So it's really 16 square feet of soil disturbance.
Right, okay. Questions now? Yes? Questions?
Sounds cut and dry.
Richard, any questions? No?
Nope, sounds good.
Does any, no, it's not a hearing. Okay, sorry, Forza have it,
No worries.
asking if they have any questions. So it looks like we can just approve those standard conditions, yes?
Yep,
Yes.
100%.
Okay, take a motion?
All right, motion to approve the MBZA for 454 Union Street with standard conditions.
Second,
Vote to approve.
Approve.
Jeff?
proof, I'm sorry.
Richard?
Who's keeping you in suspense?
Vote to approve.
Approve. Thank you, guys, thanks for
a lot,
coming in.
appreciate
Thank you
coming
very
in.
much.
Thank you.
Sitting at the switch.
I can't like tickle you. Okay. All right. 84, the now I'd like to discuss the MBZA for 84 Palomino Drive.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Yeah, good, thank you. Good evening, everyone. This is Garapalli, 84 Palomino Drive owner. I think last week I came, based on the recommendation, I have updated and provided more information. The one thing is like I'm trying to correct my lawn. Existing lawn, it is all uneven. It has somewhere holes and then somewhere actually the slope towards house. So I'm just trying to level it so that water won't stack. That's one request. And the second one, this tree is in my property, and actually it's bending almost 75% to the neighbor's property. Tree was actually trimmed a couple of times by neighbors because it was too close to the ground. It's keep on going down actually. So I'm worried that it is primarily middle of their lawn, end of the tree. I'm worried that it may hurt someone, so I just wanted to take that down, and if it is allowed, I can plant 1 or 2 trees since I am taking down that one. That's another one. And I want to put a shed, one more shed next to my existing one. These 3 requests I have.
Okay. All right. Pretty good. Pretty standard? Any questions, guys?
Sounds good.
So one thing that was in the notes was maybe talking about erosion or sedimentation controls. I guess because we've got some.
Yes, I did have a comment. Thank you for reading my agent report, Mark.
Yep.
Because you've got some sloping there, so, you know, so it sound, yeah, so you're gonna be doing some fill. So I think maybe what we'd be looking for is some erosion or sedimentation control around the property as you're doing that.
Pardon, I didn't get-
So, like erosion control, right, as you're filling, so stuff doesn't wash out?
Yeah, actually, it is up after the problem. Like if you see that I have the vegetable bed, I grow all vegetables every season. Next to the vegetable bed is actually the slope, but where that if you see the blue line, it's up there. It's just maybe 4 or 5 inch if I put it, So it will be,
It levels out.
it
is
levels
what he's
out.
saying. So where the toe of slope is the top black line,
Yep.
right? And then it levels out to the blue. And then just beyond the blue, the red is the fence, I believe.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Along with that red line, I am putting that
So-
fence.
What I would suggest, is considering weather, so we're not, I mean, most of the vegetation has already been removed, but typically you wouldn't remove vegetation right when it's going to rain, right, so you wouldn't have bare earth. So that would be a consideration, something you could condition. You could condition that the tree is chipped and you use the wood chips as a barrier, like as a berm.
That's good.
If he has any leaves, that he could create a berm. You could always suggest that he get, wattles or a fence. I would say for something small scale like this, I would suggest a fence. I know the commission doesn't typically suggest that, considering they're usually left and they freeze and they break. But other than
Well, he's certainly
making the
gonna
plastic industry
Well, yeah,
look
it's also-
strong, it would work.
Yeah.
So
It
there,
also becomes an eyesore, but probably would not stay on
Probably,
someone's
right.
private property. So,
So-
He'll remove that.
yeah, he'll move that.
Yeah.
so there
It won't be
are
allowed.
ways, there are things that you could
Yeah.
work with the property owner on.
So, yeah, so we'd like to, see if we could work with you on some of that erosion control. We'll make some suggestions for you, but we condition that in, that we'd have some sort of erosion control. One, I don't know if you,
Sorry, what is that erosion control? I think what is that actually meaning?
so we're worried about sediment or some of the dirt, or, you've got some bare earth and you're putting fill in, right?
Yeah.
So it could be runoff with the dirt from that running off into
Oh,
the.
I'm going to put the grass again. I will just put the grass, because if you see that black lane is the slope, I'm going to put the dirt and then I reseed it. So it won't wash out actually. If you see grass is there even after
So-
the black lane.
Yeah, so I think the idea would be to have something there while the grass is growing, right? It's to be it could be potentially a temporary fix, right? Like some plastic fencing, or you could do something like we described, where you put the wood chips down and you build a little bit of a berm around it. Then you could leave that there. I mean, your decision, but we just like to see
Oh,
some,
sure.
yeah.
I have a stones actually like around the red line, and it was there like the big stones, it was already there. I can put the fence and then put the stones before the fence, it's that way, that way.
Yeah.
I have like this big
I mean,
stones,
that seems to make sense.
so I can bring that stones in front of the fence, so that like,
I think that sounds good.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Already I have the stones around the red line.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're good with that?
Yeah, I
Thank-
can put it, yeah, it's already there, and then I don't need to do anything, just put the fence back of that stones and bring each stone little bit far. That's
Okay.
it. I can do that.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
I like it.
Any other further questions, comments, discussion? Richard, do you have anything?
I'm good.
Okay, I think we're good.
All right, so we'll give you a motion to approve the MBZA on 84 Palomino Drive with standard MBZA conditions and the erosion sedimentation control as discussed and agreed to by the applicant.
Second.
All right,
Take-
vote to approve.
Approve?
Approve. Approve.
Approved.
Richard?
Approve.
Approve. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay,
Appreciate you coming in.
thank you.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Thank you.
Last time when I came, there were a lot of hearings.
Yeah.
And I like a lot.
You're like a
Yeah, I know.
Today
Yeah,
I thought it will be too late, like 5 minutes late, then when I came, MBZ
Yeah.
started.
Glad we could help out.
Thanks for your time.
thank you.
That's fun.
Okay, now the last MVZA that we have on our agenda is for 9 Maple Tree Lane.
How you doing?
How you doing? My name's Chris. I'm the homeowner at 9 Maple Tree Lane. Thanks for seeing me so short notice. It was kind of a late addition.
Sure.
About a year ago, I was actually here. I took some trees down on the property, between erosion from rain and just the old sort of tree life. I had a lot of impact, both to the roof and areas of the driveway and stuff with large trees. And took them down in the front and the back. In the backyard, I'm applying for hopefully approval for a smaller, a stone wall, because of two reasons. The bigger one being the erosion, kind of the same thing that the other gentleman was talking about. With all the rainfall this year, and I didn't really notice it, my house in this particular area of Maple Tree Lane was really built up. So I'm not having the drainage issues that my neighbors are having. My neighbors are constantly pumping water out and fighting that. My house, for whatever reason, they had to really build up with engineered gravel and stuff, so it sits a little higher outside of the sort of danger zone. I'm not having any flood problems or anything. I really lucked out. The issue that I'm having, especially since taking down the trees that were, destroyed the shed where this wall is going, is basically the soil is running off away from the house. And kind of like the last gentleman, I actually dug sort of a pit to catch the engineered soil and stuff like that. It was kind of a legitimate pit. It was probably 2 feet wide and maybe like a foot deep, kind of around at the bottom of the pit, with just really had at it with a shovel that day to try and slow some of the erosion. With all the rainfall, it's completely filling almost after every storm, and the dirt's just kind of flowing down the hill in little lines and stuff. And so I'm really just looking to put up a wall about that size, like 20. I think it was 20 by 40. Right where the old shed used to be that took the impact from one of the trees that was blown down in a big storm. It's exactly where it used to sit. The irrigation lines are still sort of kind of out there and stuff like that. It was just really overgrown before we took down a lot of the problem trees. And that's basically what I'm asking permission for. The dirt that I'd be using is actually going to come, the whole house is sort of at the property, that back slant is at just kind of an angle. The dirt would come from the higher point and just be transferred to the lower point on the hill. We're talking 20-ish feet or some 30-ish feet. And then the wall would be built up just high enough, 4 to 6 feet, to accommodate just leveling out the land so that it's not running down the hill and going directly into the wetlands.
Out of curiosity, right now, conditions as I stand right now, what is is a very significant slope, a pretty significant slope? No?
No, it's over 60 to 70 feet. It's about my height, like head height. So
Okay.
where I stand, where it levels out at the bottom of
Yeah.
the property and look directly back.
So the change is significant, it's just that it's. I see.
Exactly,
Right.
because, but just between the trees and the fact that the dirt isn't really dirt around the house, it's actually
Yes.
built up engineered gravel, it's freely flowing, and it's causing more of a problem, and it's going directly out to the wetlands. And I saw it, I don't want to affect any of that area, and directly to the left of my property is where this sort of settling area is for the entire community, so I don't want anything getting out there. So I really kind of, with the significant amount of rainfall that we've had since then, I've really just been sort of in a hurry and trying to make this a priority.
So just out of curiosity, the engineered materials, are they non-conducive to growing plants or grasses or anything like that?
Oh, no, there was a full lawn there.
There's a full lawn.
Yeah, there was lawn, there was grass. When I say the engineered material, I guess, I just mean non-topsoil. Maybe I'm using the
Okay, I
wrong
see.
term,
Okay, no, I
and
get
I
it.
apologize.
Okay.
You guys know way, and Brick as well, you know way more what you're
Okay,
talking about
okay.
than I do.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out, like, is this like a bear, like the whole hill's gonna come down?
No,
Okay.
nothing like
Yeah.
that, sir. Sorry,
Okay.
I didn't mean to misrepresent.
No, you didn't say, I was just curious, right? Because, I mean, over time, if that keeps happening, you would think you're gonna lose the whole thing, it's just gonna wash away over time, over years, right? So-
Yeah, it would probably take some time. It's just, I figured I'd get on it sooner than later just because I'm new in the neighborhood, and I got the front yard finally sort of looking good because I live in a neighborhood where like everybody's a grass guy, and for like a year I got
Yeah.
the dirty looks. Finally I have the front yard, and now they're all like, oh, when's the backyard gonna come along? And I'm like, with all my free time, I'm getting to it.
Yeah, there's shovels in the corner.
I mean, I'd love to help.
Rick, do you have any comments on this, or no?
I would just suggest the same condition about at the discharge points of drainage ditches.
Oh, yeah.
If that's something you're willing to do.
Anything, yeah.
Okay, yeah. You heard that the discussion we had with the idea was that in the discharge if we could have some plantings, sages, ferns, things of this nature, that would sort of like stop some of the sediment before it just keeps on going into,
On your drainage ditches.
yeah.
Okay. I guess the hope would be that the drainage ditch won't be necessary if I can build the wall up so the grade of the land
Okay,
won't
okay, I see what
be
you're
there.
saying, yeah.
Because I guess if you look, you can see where the stone wall is way down there, probably 30 feet in front of that whole area.
Okay.
That's completely flat and it's not making it anywhere close to there. On the other side of the stone wall, I guess going north, or
Yes.
I don't know if that would be north technically, but right where that cursor is, that's where all the, I don't want to say the real wetlands are. I don't.
That's wet.
Okay, yeah, I don't
Okay,
know
I
the
see.
term, but you can't like walk out there.
I see.
Okay.
Now,
Big, beautiful cabbages.
oh, really, okay. Do you think that the wall was obviously there when you took the property, but is that an old, I'm just curious, is that an old farm site wall?
Oh yeah,
Is
that's
was
a
that-
full
that-
farm wall
okay,
running.
but that
It
wasn't-
runs all the way out to
Okay, so that wasn't
Maple.
like, set there specifically for erosion, right? That was not that was not an erosion control later put in, no, okay, yeah, okay. All right, okay.
Sounds good.
Any questions, guys? That sounds pretty standard to me.
Sounds good.
All right, motion to approve the MBZA for 9 Maple Tree Lane for the installation of the 40 by 20 L-shaped retaining wall.
Second that.
Vote to approve.
Approve?
Approve.
Approve.
Richard?
Approve.
Approve. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in, Chris. Appreciate the
Thank
description.
Thank you very much for your
Yeah,
time.
thanks.
Yep.
Good luck.
Okay, that is it for the MBZAs. We are flying through this, guys, flying. That's great. Now we move into our most favorite topic, violations and enforcement. So, Prospect Street. What do we have for Prospect Street?
If the commission recalls, as a condition of the previous enforcement order for Prospect Street, well, 3190180000000.
Yes, the big number.
I dreamt about that quite a
Yep.
bit.
That's sad, but go
Yep.
ahead.
The conditions were that by Friday, May 31st, erosion controls had to be installed. I was to be notified the week of June 3rd, and I was supposed to come out and approve erosion controls by Friday, June 7th. That never occurred. So I'm coming back to update the commission on that and then defer for next steps.
Which part didn't occur? You didn't check them out or you didn't put them in?
One begets the other, so he didn't put them in.
So nothing happened, basically.
Yes, nothing.
Nothing happened, and there was nothing to, evaluate because nothing happened. Okay, so, what do we do, I mean, what are the options at this point? What do we do?
So we've got an enforcement order in place, right?
Mhm.
The DEP was involved in this, right?
Right, yes,
So
Rika?
maybe we want to do is get an update in writing to the DEP as to
I think that makes sense.
what the status relative to the violation
So-
order is, right?
Right, so we were discussing this at our pre-meeting yesterday, and we felt that it would be prudent for us to send a short note to the DEP, just to advise them of where things stand.
Have it on the record.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's on the record, and that, we have been waiting for action to be taken, no action has been taken. And I guess that's pretty much it, right? We're just basically notifying them for the record so they can put it in the record, right?
Correct.
We're not actually asking them to do take any action, it's really up to them,
Yes.
right?
We inform, they decide.
Yeah, they decide,
Yeah.
okay?
I like that.
Is everyone okay with that? And, I can work with Rika to draft a letter and send it to them, is that all right? Okay, cool. Richard, you're all right with that?
I am.
Send a letter,
I
okay.
don't appear to be doing anything, so we might as do the best we can.
Okay, all right, so that is
Add
the
another
action.
one to Richard's list.
That's right. Excuse me. All right, now, we go on to the minutes. There are 2 minutes. I have looked at them. I didn't see any changes. Did anybody take a gander, and did they have any changes that they thought?
No.
Excuse me. No? No? Okay, I'll take a motion to approve the minutes from May 16 first.
I'll give you that. Motion to approve the motions from minutes. Motion to approve the minutes from May 16.
Second it.
Okay,
Vote to approve.
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 Richard,
Approved.
approve. I'll take a motion for the minutes for May 30th.
I gotta abstain from that one because I still gotta look at them because it wasn't here, so maybe I'll pass that. second
Okay,
to-
okay.
to Ms.
I'll give you a motion to approve the minutes for May 30th, 2024.
Have a second?
Second.
Okay, approve.
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 Richard,
Approved.
with one abstention. Thank you. Now we get on to the discussions. Turtle habitat. What is going on with the turtle habitat?
Wanted to just update the commission since it's been about a year and a half since I talked about money, for the turtle habitat. So I did tabulate the total cost to date and it's $6,826.90. That's mainly for the fence. The fence was about $5,000.
Okay,
And then additional plants are expensive. So we do still have, a good chunk of money set aside for native plants. What the commission approved was $7,571.60. I just wanted to put it on your radar that I'll likely be purchasing plants relatively soon, or again coming this fall, utilizing sales and things like that. I wouldn't be surprised if I have to come back to you guys.
do you have any idea how much more you think you might need?
A couple hundred if that. But
Should we approve
I mean,
additional
up to
monies
you.
now?
you can. Do you wanna bump it up to $8,000 total?
8, why don't we just say 8?
That's fine. And then I do have a volunteer this summer who's going to take on the turtle habitat. So I'm very excited because it definitely needs a lot of love.
Now, is that money you'll need also for that volunteer, or that's just?
They are unpaid.
Unpaid, okay.
Volunteer.
Okay,
Volunteer.
all right.
We like volunteers.
We like volunteers.
We love volunteers.
Yes. And then.
It's a good volunteer, Nicole.
Go ahead, go ahead.
And then I do have an email out to DPW for the concrete hatchery removal.
Yes.
So
okay.
that should come out soon. So
Okay.
that'll really, I think, pull that area together and not make it look as crowded.
That'll be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Jeff's favorite feature.
Hi.
So I hope our
Yeah.
volunteer likes to pull weeds because that's what's gonna happen, unfortunately. So
Okay, okay.
stress relief. is
Stress
what
relief, you got it.
Yes.
A lot of feng shui and pulling.
It, you
Feng
know,
shui.
there's, you
There
get to
you
be
go.
outside, we'll learn about ecology and invasive plants.
And what best bug spray to use, yes.
Yes, we'll learn
I'm sorry,
all sorts
I'm being
of things.
obnoxious, okay.
We'll learn about rhizomes.
Rhizomes, yes.
All sorts of
Right.
things, so.
There should be a rhizome sign, a rhizome song, yeah.
That'll be good.
Like conjunction, junction, rhizome. All right, enough. Okay, okay. I will then take a motion, if you guys are okay with this, to increase the total approved funding for the turtle habitat to $8,000.
So give you a motion to increase and approve the total spend for the turtle habitat at $8,000.
Second it.
Vote to approve.
Approved.
Approve.
Approve.
Approved?
Richard?
Approved.
Approved. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. And then the next thing on the list is the kayak launch repair.
Yes, so this is the kayak launch at Delcart.
And this is right as you go into the, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
actually right next to the turtle habitat.
Right.
You'll notice that the launch, there's a wooden piece that connects from the upland to the actual dock. That is not the actual gangplank or walkway
Oh,
that's supposed to
okay.
be there. It is supposed to be an entire plastic piece that attaches to the dock.
Okay.
So that repair is $650.
Now, was that a temporary
Yeah.
thing?
it was-
Okay, so it was never made permanent, basically?
Correct.
Okay, so this should have been done at the time, and it was never done, basically, right? So it's called a repair, but it's really a complete, I'd probably say a project completion,
Yeah.
more likely.
Yeah.
right? Yep, okay. So, any questions for those, guys?
No, sounds good.
No? Okay, questions from Richard? Any questions about the boat
No,
launch repair? No,
I'm
okay.
good.
All right, give you a motion to approve the kayak launch repair at $650.
Second it.
Vote to approve.
Approved.
Approve.
Approve.
Approved.
Richard?
Approved.
Approved. Okay, thank you. All right, now we go into the comments and updates. Friends of Franklin liaison update.
Sure. So I recently sent out a survey to the Friends of Franklin to figure out meeting dates for turtle habitat, trail maintenance, and farmers market.
Okay.
I didn't receive, I 3 people filled out the form. So I need to send out another email to try and poke people
Okay.
to respond. But also our volunteer, her name is Michaela, she will be taking on the Friends of Franklin this summer.
Okay.
Just to, I think as a undergraduate volunteer, it's important to learn about stakeholder engagement as well. And then this will give her the ability to actually manage projects and put that on her resume as managing projects as well.
Okay, yep.
So I'm meeting with her next Tuesday to hopefully get her integrated into that, and then she'll be able to run with it.
So question, so I was unable to go to the strawberry stroll, but did we have anything at the strawberry stroll? Did the liaison having? No? Okay. Must have-
Nope.
Maybe next year?
Maybe next
I
year.
had drinks at Teddy G's, if that counts.
Was it good?
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to go. I just couldn't make it. I was over in Sherwood, unfortunately. I couldn't make it back.
Just as a kind of a side, are we thinking of doing anything for the farmer's market this year, or is that?
Oh, yeah. Have we talked about? A booth or
You
something?
haven't. I imagine that if FFC, so Friends of Franklin Conservation and Conservation wanted to share a table, I think that would be fine.
Yeah.
You guys
That's
are
what
very
I
pretty
was
close.
thinking, in case.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
I do have an application out for FFC already, but I'm waiting to hear back on dates from people.
Okay.
So I can send you guys that list too of dates, and then.
Yeah, could you do that? Okay.
Yep.
Yep, that'd be great.
Can I
Yes.
say something on that too?
Please, yeah.
I think it was last Wednesday, I went to the, council meeting because they were talking about Stobots.
Right.
Which obviously we had no input at that time, but the question was asked to Brie Galai, and, when she got up to speak, the guy right next to me said, "Is she the only person on the conservation committee?" And so I corrected him, but then he said, "Oh, I didn't know there was a board." So
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a way that maybe we shouldn't be mandated to attend meetings, but somehow try to show our face more out in the public. Farmers market is a start, but it just kind of piqued my curiosity of Stobart, so I went. Was much more opposition than I thought there'd be. But what surprised me was, like I say, our agent got up to speak, but they didn't know we're here. So
Right.
I didn't know if there's a way we can, I know we've done Del Carts and we did some farmers markets, I think, last year.
Oh, yeah, we did a bunch, yeah.
If there's a way that in our spare time, when something like that comes up, if we try to go, might be good for the board.
I think it's a good recommendation, Roger. When there's a topic that we've been involved in at the town council, maybe we can rotate that around,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it was just a thought, but like I say, it kind of caught me off guard, and then I'm thinking, there was a lot of negative at this meeting, and it was all kind of being pointed in one direction, and
So here's a kind of loaded question thought, right? And your Stobart's comment made me think of it because there's just an article. I mean, what if we put together a little article for the Franklin Observer piece thing that comes out on email, right? Introducing your conservation commission, right? Do you even know what we do? And
yeah.
direct people to our website, just, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't,
That's not a bad idea. actually.
right?
That's
Well,
not a-
Steve Sherlock's thing too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right?
that's not a bad idea.
I mean, I know we have a website, I know that, but
Well, but
a lot of people probably don't know that.
Well, or directing people to it,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
100%. I mean, I'll call or see if I can track down the Franklin Observer.
I'm
people.
kind of surprised Alan hasn't done like a daily, meet your public, people
Yeah.
thing, segment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he hasn't. That'd be something that he would definitely put together.
You used to run things about our meetings, but
Yes.
that stopped.
Yeah. He's been very selective as to what he's.
Is that the guy on
Yeah.
Franklin TV?
No,
Franklin
no,
Observer.
the
There's
Observer.
Steve Sherlock and there's Alan Ellis.
Oh,
They're two different.
yeah,
ones.
yeah, right, that's
I-
right.
Steve is a radio show. Alan is he's a newspaper guy, the journalist, basically.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I gotcha. I'll track that down.
The
you
Steve
guys think
Sherlock
that's
is a good, Steve Sherlock's a good one, yeah.
You think that's a good idea? I mean, at least
I think-
ask
I
him.
think, yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it's more exposure. The only caveat is that, as just, again, historical comment, long ago, we published all the telephone numbers and personal email addresses of all the commissioners, by the way.
Richard's rolling his
I mean,
eye.
we did do this, no, we did do this, no, I'm not, no, wait, we did do this, and about, I think it was a year and a half later, we decided that was not a good idea, because too many people were calling and complaining, they had, personal things, personal agendas and stuff, and they weren't coming into chambers, they were basically calling and bothering the commissioners, and that was not the point, right? It was fine for people to call or email and ask questions about process, ask about where can I find something, who should I talk to, that kind of stuff, what, things of that nature. Where can I get a copy of the bylaws so I can read them, that kind of thing, fine, not a problem. But people were actually trying to get you engaged into specific projects and meetings that were open, and it became a real hassle, because basically it was, the commissioners had to remember what they could and couldn't say, and that was an undue burden. So we basically got rid of all that. So we made a rule, basically, a tacit rule that no personal information on the websites anymore, because we didn't want that to happen. Everything would come through the office, everything would come through BRECA or the conservation office, main
Yeah.
email, or phone number, right? That was the right call, but so the point is that we were trying to be transparent, and it sort of backfired on us, to be honest. So just remember that we do have that history. So it's good to be public. I think it's great, but be careful that you don't get more than you bargained for. Because when they know who you are, then they will
Yeah.
contact you.
Yeah, and I
Right.
was thinking about that, because I mean, especially with some hot topics in
Yes.
town, and I don't.
Like Stoweworks.
I don't know that we even need to name names in the article as much as talk about the positions and the roles and the process, and if you
Yeah.
wanna learn more
Sure.
and meet the people, to your point,
Sure.
come to Chambers
Yeah.
every other Thursday night, or check out the website, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
make it more generic about the department itself as
Sure,
opposed
sure,
to
sure,
people,
sure.
right? I mean,
Sure.
just a thought, because I agree with you, good. We won't put your picture in there, but I mean, the rest of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that would scare everybody away. Okay.
Thank you.
Nicolai, you got thoughts on that?
No.
Okay.
However you want to navigate, your constituency, that's
Yeah, yes, exactly.
up to you. But
Okay.
thank you, Roger. That was nice of you to point
Yeah.
out.
No, I think it's a good call out, right? So I think that's pretty common,
Yeah.
that,
I will say that oftentimes at these town council meetings, I am representing you. I am not
Right.
necessarily representing my own technical expertise.
Right.
I would say it's about 60-40. Some counselors do ask me for my technical expertise, and I have no problem giving them consultancy like I would anybody else. But the 60%, they're asking your opinion.
Right.
So to Roger's point and believing in transparency, and I don't want to misrepresent, I do think it is important to have at least one of you there,
Okay.
or
At least
present,
we
or
know that,
tuned
yeah.
in,
Yeah.
or have a pulse, or go back
Yeah.
and watch it, or something.
totally agree.
Agree, yeah, agree. Okay.
Does this echo what the Observer ran on Stobart's a couple days ago?
Maybe a little.
Move along that path of negativity?
Yeah. I don't want to comment on the Observer. I don't really read it that much. I'll read Steve Sherlock's more, but I don't read them both.
And they're kind of different animals.
Definitely.
Okay. Do you go to master plan? Master plan liaison then?
Nope.
Anything?
I haven't received anything
No?
from Megan for a while,
Okay.
but
Isn't there's a meeting coming up, another meeting though, right?
it got pushed out a month.
Oh, it got pushed out, okay, that's right, July, yep,
Yeah.
right, okay. Natural Resource Protection Manager update?
Nothing really from me. I did just want to put in another plug that for MAC or Native Plant Trust classes or publications, right? Those are things that are available for you to take, and they're paid for out of the Wetlands Fund. So I definitely think for you to be a strong board, to stay in tune with current and, best practices and current initiatives, and really utilize that education that you have available to you.
Thank you for that. So, I want to give a small, it's not on the agenda, I want to give a small update on MAC, what's going on in MAC. So, as you know, that I would say 80% of what MAC does is education. I mean, they put together courses, they put together annual meeting, et cetera. And there was a big discussion at the last board meeting last week about certifications and about whether we should be tracking certifications, not just membership. And it looks like MAC will probably start doing that. MAC is a board that supports commissions. They obviously can't order commissions to do anything. It's strictly a supportive body. But they wanted to provide some sort of, essentially directory, if you will, of, people that, seem to be knowledgeable because they're taking courses, classes, whatever. So it looks like that will probably start to happen. The other thing I just want to point out is, the annual meeting is coming up, and we are being beaten over the head to solicit talks and presentations for the meeting. So if anybody has any ideas or wants to present, or has an idea of a topic they would really like to see at the meeting, please contact me and let me know so I can get it back to our executive director, who's, again, been haranguing all of us mercilessly. One of the things that I brought up, don't kill me, was all the outreach that Franklin has done because of Riga, and that has been very, very successful. And that is, I felt that was sort of a model to be emulated by others. I didn't know who else had done that, but I thought that was at least worthy of a discussion. Maybe not a session, but maybe maybe just a presentation at the annual meeting, and that was very positively received.
Was it?
So did you volunteer, Breaker?
Yeah, he told me a few weeks ago.
Did I volunteer?
Well, I was already one step ahead of everybody because I included in the grant proposal.
Yeah.
It was a requirement I submit it to the MAC conference. So it is something. Teasing, of course, because I was just going to let it slide if you didn't volunteer me. So.
Well, actually, people asked for you. I didn't have to do that.
Oh.
Oh yeah, no, you've got a big reputation now. Yeah, big shoes to fill, my dear. Yes.
Your own shoes.
Oh yeah.
High tide, low tide. I don't know if that's a good thing.
Your reputation precedes you now. Be careful. Be careful how successful you become.
Make sure there's not a hole in the bottom of your shoe.
But what one of the things that I was going to suggest is not to put all the burden on you. I'd be willing if you wanted to do some sort of like joint presentation or something like that, because I would obviously like to talk about, as part of outreach and citizenry relations development, obviously what we did, because it's my favorite topic, obviously, what we did with Delcart, and then, because I think that goes hand in hand with all the outreach we've done. So all of that together is kind of like encompasses everything, and is huge. I mean, if you actually step back and look at what Franklin has done, it's a massive, massive amount of outreach that we've done for all these projects. The land bodies that we've actually purchased for passive recreation and use, the plans we have going forward, the bee program, the Friends of Conservation, all of these
field
things,
trips.
Right?
I go around to the schools too, and I give presentations.
I mean,
on
all these things, right? So I'm there's more than enough for a single presentation. We could do a whole freaking, work session on this stuff. But I think that just to generate ideas to other commissions, these are the kinds of things you can do. They are very successful. They don't require a lot of money, right? And the payback is great relations, developing these great relations and closeness. That people start to actually become wanting to get to know the commission. They want to get to know the bylaws. They want to become more educated in conservation, in their town, right? So it works great for everyone to do these things. If you have the wherewithal. We're very lucky. We've got a full-time agent. Many towns don't. Many towns don't even have an agent at all, right? I mean, some of the smaller towns, right? I mean, we're very lucky. But that doesn't preclude you from putting together like friends, like, the citizen groups. They become sort of an extension of yourself. So And so this was basically a discussion that we had at MAC, and it was incredibly well received. They thought that was fantastic, because that is exactly one of the big missions of MACC, was to strike more involvement and outreach, right? In addition to educational, so that was like mission number 1 and 2. So,
When you think about it, Brook Street and Helen Keller
Yeah.
and the new Tri-County,
yeah,
that's huge.
right.
I mean, she's in the schools.
Right, it's huge, yeah. So I mean, you know, Franklin is just like, you know, if you go to these meetings, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna be obnoxious, but I've thought this for years. If you go to the meetings and you're at lunch, and you kind of like hit up, you know, all the different people, because you sit at these big tables, and essentially a dormitory cafeteria, and you basically talk to other people from other commissions, man, we are like light years ahead of everybody in doing like everything. So rewriting regulations, you know, getting things changed, you know, the bylaws, we're so far ahead, it's crazy. So over time, recent time, the last, say, 5, 6, 7 years, Franklin has developed a reputation as like one of the super innovative, like, go talk to the Franklin guys, because they've probably done it, they've probably done it first, they've probably done it. So we're starting to get that reputation throughout the consortium of conservation commissions. And you see that I knew this was true before COVID, actually, this was before COVID. And so we're a good, respected source to be talking about this very timely topic for conservation, you know, in a state that's trying to promote exactly this. So I just thought it was very apropos that Franklin will be talking about this project at this topic at the annual meeting. My 2 cents.
I love it.
I've taken 4 of the 5 classes you need to take. In fact, the one I wanted was tonight. But they are good classes, and I've signed up for two more coming up, so I appreciate them being available to us.
I know Nicole expressed interest in helping out with the proposal as well.
Okay,
So
great.
I can send out an email on that. I think it would be important that some of you are there as well, considering this is essentially your organization.
Oh, no, yeah, I
And,
agree.
and I want you to talk to your peers. I think the message will be more inspiring if it comes from you than me. So,
That's fair, yes, I agree.
so out of respect for you, I would love for you to be there with me.
Yeah,
When's the
yeah. Yeah, when is the meeting? It's September?
I
October,
thought you were on the
September?
board.
I forget. I forget.
It is
What are
Well,
those?
I've got it on
October
my-
19th.
Yeah, I can
October,
see
yeah,
it.
October.
Oh, yeah.
So then one additional thing, again, putting in a plug for those classes, and then I just wanted to check in. There were a few that were interesting to me too, so would it be okay if I signed up?
Of course, absolutely.
I
Oh.
have, yes,
Can I make a comment about the letter, or do you want me not to say anything?
what letter?
The letter to Jamie.
Oh, you can say whatever you want. I've
Oh.
already let him know.
Well, they don't know. These guys don't.
They don't know, but I
Yeah.
let him know.
Okay, so, Mr. Gadfly, otherwise known as Gene Grella, apparently did
Oh,
not.
that letter.
Yes.
Apparently.
Apparently did not heed my, I should say, or chose to ignore my concerns about some of the drum beating that he had been doing regarding the Silvers project. Just to recap quickly, I did not specifically talk to him to tell him to stop doing anything. My objective was simply to say that if indeed he tries to get other state agencies involved, there is a potential that a state agency can come in and take control and supersede any control that Franklin would have. If that does happen, then any additional regulation or oversight that we have as part of our bylaws essentially gets wiped out, because it basically then resets to just the state mandates. Right, so as you know, our bylaws are by definition more stringent than the state laws. or state rules and regulations. So you're basically throwing all that away. So what I tried to do, tell him, is I said, please try to work through the town first, try to work through the agent, try to work through the conservation office first, because if you sort of like jump over that and immediately go to the state, then you potentially lose the very thing that you're fighting to do, which is to increase the regulations and oversight. That's what he wants. So he saw this, he said, and he understood this, and he said he would basically knock it off and stop sending letters around to all these agencies, so like that. So apparently that has stopped, but I came to note that after that meeting in Chambers,
He was there.
yes, I'm sure he was, apparently he wrote a letter to Jamie, and it was attacking effectively, professionally, our agents, saying that the agent was not doing the job, and essentially, and you can, I don't want to speak out of turn, so tell me if I'm wrong, but what it appears is that he was trying to insinuate that the agent, hereby the commission, were letting these guys get away with murder, and we were not doing our job, and we're not, basically, right? Once again, and I did say this also to him, I made this very clear, is there is a very clear demarcation about what conservation oversees and what it can do, and other town boards like planning and zoning, etc., right? We are not planning, we are not zoning, we are only conservation. So it seems that that part of our conversation he did not understand. And it, as I've said in these meetings many times before, it makes me extremely upset when someone attacks either our commissioners or our agents or our office, right? We've got a great office, extremely high integrity, very capable people. We're very lucky to have the people we have right here, and Regal Eye, and everyone else that we have, that we work with. Very lucky, because a lot of towns do not have that. So I think it's abusive to be sending these kinds of things to like someone's boss, and not, especially not even like talking to them directly, going over their head. I think that's really abusive, and I really have a problem with it. I haven't decided what I'm going to do about it. I do know that you said that Jamie had crafted a response or sent a response.
Yes, so Jean was, since it's public record,
Yeah.
I don't mean to air dirty laundry.
Yeah.
Thought you were talking about the Beaver Pond or
No.
Sculpture Park letter.
No.
So the question has arisen, why hasn't conservation department or commission, why aren't we seeking enforcement? Why aren't we upholding town bylaw? Why aren't we doing these things?
Right.
And it is because, you know, the issue went to DEP and EPA prior to it coming to us. I can tell based on the web forms that were forwarded to me from DEP and EPA asking, you know, what's up with this? Have you looked at it yet? And then comparing my own emails that I've received in my inbox. But, you know, to Jeff's point, because it went above and beyond to, you know, the greater powers that we answer to, right, or permit under, they, you know, they're taking the lead on it, and they're taking the lead on any sort of remediation or restoration at this point, you know. So it would not be good for us to go against what they're suggesting.
No, we wouldn't. Of course we wouldn't do that.
I guess
So,
a procedural question too, right? I mean, I think we talked about this, the purpose of an enforcement order is to get the place cleaned up, right?
yes, I would not consider enforcement order to punish somebody.
Right,
It would
we're not
be
in the
to,
business of punishing.
it'd be to compel someone to
Right,
clean it up.
So we
Compel
got
action.
we got a
Yes.
proposal in front of town that includes cleaning it up. Right.
And as a requirement, so I will put it on record, didn't get the opportunity to at town council last week, but the plan that is in front of us, the plan that I have talked to EPA about and DEP, and they're both in agreement, is that a restoration plan, which is a legal document,
Right.
has to be filed by August and/or we need to know that it is in progress. We need to be given something to show that a restoration plan is going to be filed by the proposed developer by August, okay? Otherwise, then an enforcement order needs to be taken against Wayne Stobart. This is not, as we all know, it does take time for areas to be cleaned up, right? It takes time for areas to be delineated, it takes time to have the violation areas demarcated, to think of a plan. So for something to come within 3 months from the time of the emails, right, to August is really not outside of normal process that would happen if this was a normal property without a project in
And
front
the
of it.
applicant's given us no reason to believe they're not gonna submit.
I've spoken to their environmental attorney,
Right.
and we've had meetings on it, and, you know, I mean, it's to their benefit to do it. If they
Right.
don't, then
Yeah.
DEP's already flagged, EPA's already flagged, everybody's already flagged. So
Right,
they're
right.
they already have a spotlight on them. So, I mean, it's, they
Almost-
cannot get a notice of intent, they cannot get an order of conditions until that restoration plan is filed. That's another part of the condition.
All right, yeah.
So it compels them to ensure that they're going to file the restoration plan. And then just for everybody's knowledge, the reason why it's a restoration plan and not conditioned is because conditions are really only enforceable when applicants come in for a certificate of compliance. So not to strip everybody of their power or let the word get out, but, right, so conditions are only applicable or only enforceable at certificate of compliance. So as we've seen, properties can go decades without a certificate of compliance, right? It's only until sale. But the restoration plan, having that come before an order of conditions and having it not be conditioned, it is its own separate legal document. It is enforceable in of its own.
That's kinda interesting.
So it really, I know have heard about the optics quite a lot, but from a wetland protection standpoint and getting the resources picked up, this is the fast track. And this is the most enforceable one. I am not playing favorites. This is what DEP decided, so I am, administering what DEP decided. But also, I don't think it is feasible to go and punish somebody that has been doing it for decades and likely will not clean it up. We have many examples of enforcements that have gone on.
Yes, we do.
Right.
And at that point, then the commission would need to fine, would need to hire attorneys or have Mark Sorrell represent us, would need to go to land court, and there's all these other resources and resource hours spent on that. When there's a willing participant, consultant, what have you, whatever word, it's interchangeable, that's going to do the work.
Seems very silly.
It's kinda like a moot point, right?
Well,
That is the path forward, and if anybody has questions, they can email me and I will send them to DEP, but that is the directive that I've received, so until that point, unfortunately, I am bound by what the state
At the end of the
is
day,
directing.
because some citizens took it to DEP, it's out of our hands anyway.
Unfortunately, yeah. So,
okay. Any other questions? No? Did you want to talk about Beaver?
no, I just wanted to, that's
Okay.
what I thought, I got excited, I
All
thought
right.
that's what you were talking
No,
about,
I
but,
mean, if you want me to
no,
mention.
that's fine.
Okay.
We can wait for Jamie's response.
Okay, all right. I think that's it, guys, unless you guys have anything. No? No? No?
Good meeting.
Richard, do you have anything? No?
No,
Okay, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to close and adjourn.
Second.
Okay, thank you, guys. Thank
Thanks.
you. Thank you, everyone. Okay.
Is it assigned, Tyler?